As Nibiru approaches, its gravity field's effect on the Earth gets stronger and stronger, as evident in the increase in the wobble of the Earth. Of course, there are many people in denial of this fact, and so today, this is the issue that we're going to tackle. What's up everyone, it's Ross here at X Science, and in case you're new to the channel and the topic, I'm going to give you a quick Planet X 101. So, the consensus by many is that a system of planet 10 times more massive as the Earth, along with its 7 moons and debris fields, are heading towards the Earth, and as it arrives, it will wreak havoc on life on Earth. One of the most compelling signs of Planet X's arrival is the steady increase in the wobble of the Earth. For your information, Earth wobble refers to the deviation in the Earth's rotation axis. It has been changing for a great rate in many years. In order to observe this, we need to observe the sky, the horizons, as a giant clock. As commonly known, direct north corresponds to 12 o'clock, and so east, south and west are respectively 3, 6 and 9 o'clock. What I'm about to tell you next is going to sound incredible, but it's real. It's been observed by farmers around the world, and in the unlikely case you don't know, farmers work outdoors, and watching the sky is part of their job because they need to keep track of the signs from the weather in order to take care of their crops. Anyways, before 2000, the sun rose at the position of 4 o'clock and set in the opposite direction at 8 o'clock. However, by 2005, it rose at 3 and set at 9. It doesn't stop there. In 2014, it rose at 1:30 and set at about 10:30. So the position changes are already 2.5 hours. That is a lot. It's much more tilted now. Note that these positions are taken during summer days, so no, there are no seasonal changes involved. Not only farmers, but Arctic tribes like the Inuits and the Eskimos also confirm this. So watch this.
It is time. What you're seeing here is the red iron oxide dust coming down from that planet X, Nibiru-Apocalypse, wormwood, whatever you want to call this whole celestial body that's coming down. But it is time. What does that dust do to you? It's making it harder to breathe. It's causing diabetes. It's causing internal damage inside of your body. It's causing heart attacks. It's causing chest pain. And it's coming down. You can see it's coming down in the clouds. We're breathing it. It's going into the ground. The plants are absorbing it. And you're getting it. You're being exterminated. It is time to get yourself together, folks. 100%. Anybody ever notice, or is anybody noticing that it's cloudy all the time? When, why, where, how? Like, come on, what is all these clouds? All over the world is cloudy. God in clouds. They're ready to make their move. Are you ready when they make their move? Are you ready? We got these planets showing up. There it is. See that? It's a big red planet behind the sun. It's right there. It's one on the right of the sun. And NASA and all of these government agencies around the world are aware of it. But look at us. You want to keep going, huh? You don't want to stop fornicating. You don't want to stop committing adultery. You don't want to stop your drug use. You don't want to stop dating. You don't want to stop listening to bad music. You don't want to stop keeping bad company. You don't want to stop partying. You don't want to stop drinking. You just want to keep going, although you see these tremendous signs in the sky. That's not our sun right there, folks. That is not our sun, and well do you know it. You know, you can't keep ignoring this. You got to get up and do something if you have a brain on you. It's been time. You're going to get caught unawares. And when you get caught unawares, then just like he said, men's heart will fail them at the fear of this coming. You know, it's coming. You can't stop it. So what is heart failure? It's heart attack. Heart attack. People's going to be shocked. That don't belong in our sky, folks, and you know it. You know it. What is it, a conspiracy? Because people are going to come to the page and say that it's photoshopped. It's a video, for God's sake. But they're going to come and try to sue all of the people who want to keep going astray. So you can read a dumb comment. You know, the God got your attention with red alert. It's time. God got your attention. You clicked on the video, you start watching it, and then you allow someone, some comic, some scoffers, some, you know, whatever they call them on there, to lure you away. All they got to do is say it's not real. It's photoshopped. You know, I can see that it's photoshopped. It's this, it's that. No, it's on the right side of the sun, and everyone knows. Everyone that knows. If you just now hearing this and just now seeing this, boy, have you been asleep. And you need to wake up. And you need to wake up. And you really need to wake up. It is time to get yourself 100% right with God. Don't pretend. God is not going to be. The day of the Lord is coming. These are the signs. And when that day comes, it's going to be a terrible day. It ain't going to be, oh, Lord, Lord, all this and that and jumping for joy. No, it's going to be shock and awe. It's going to be meteorites falling down. It's going to be a magnetic pull so freaking hard. When these planets come closer and get within range of this magnetic pull, this earth is going to jolt your butt to the floor. I mean, don't be driving. You know, that's one of the things I worry about is driving. And then look at people just carry on with their life and they see these things in the sky. How can you carry on like there's nothing wrong? This is not normal. How deep of a spell are you people under? You know, you let the scoffers come and detour you because that's what they're going to do. Say it's not real. This is fake. This guy's 100% bull. No, this guy's not. And the sky is not. And then you got the solar winds making it hard. It's taking the oxygen out the air. Hard for you to breathe. Body aches, pains. Come on. Wake up, people. These headaches. Wake up, people. Red alert. It's time to get yourself together.
See, it's all real, and it's increasing. Also, on the day of summer solstice, which is the 21st of June every year, the sun's position at high noon has also changed over recent years. In 2005, it was in central Mexico. Then it moved north and reached central United States in 2014, and then the US-Canada border in 2015. That's a whole 2,000 miles in only 1 year. In 2016, it moved back down south a bit and was around 41 degrees north latitude. All of this was caused by the wobble, and as far as I know, there could only be one reason. A big gravitational force is affecting us. The known planets are still normal, so that means something unknown to us must be approaching. If you still don't believe it, you can go and watch the tide. Tide is one of the terrestrial phenomena that shows the most obvious effects from gravity. Extreme tidal movements that we call king tides and spring tides are behaving abnormally, and such abnormality has been increasing steadily over recent time. Since tides are caused by gravity of the sun and the sun and the moon's gravity cannot increase, the rise in big tides can only mean that there is an additional source of gravity influencing the Earth. You can see the effect clearly from the historical retreating of the waters along the coast of South America, on the side of the Atlantic Ocean in Brazil and Uruguay, and simultaneous the crashing of waters into the shores along the Pacific coast of Chile and other western edges of the continent.
It turns out that Planet 9 can actually tilt the sun.
The fact that the sun is tilted, even if it's only by 6 degrees, the fact that the sun is tilted, the sun is the most massive thing in our solar system by a huge margin, and it's oriented differently than everything else in the solar system. That is an incredibly strange phenomenon for which there really have not been that many explanations even attempted over the last 150 years. It's naturally explained by Planet 9 being exactly where we think Planet 9 is, which it's one of these mysteries that we think is now solved. That's been such a mystery that people haven't even really talked about it very much over the last 150 years because it's just been so difficult to think of why it is.
It has been known since the mid-1800s that the sun is tilted. Over the years, people have put forth various explanations for it. One possibility is that the sun was interacting with the protoplanetary disk via magnetic fields. It's also possible that the disk was just asymmetrical from the beginning. And it's also possible that the sun actually had a stellar companion a long time ago.
It was a moment of inspiration. Not all projects start out this way. Not all results really come. Some of them come, it slowly dawns on you. We were sitting in Constantine's office one afternoon, and we were actually thinking about a different problem entirely, which is how Planet 9 would interact with these very distant objects in the Kuiper belt that made us originally think that Planet 9 was there. And in just a moment, as we're thinking about it, and we're doing this with our hands, trying to think of directions things are going, I think we both realized at about the same time. It's like, oh, it's going to make the sun look tilted too. And it was very clear from the way we did our fingers that it was going to make an effect. What we didn't know until we did the calculations was how much of an effect was it going to have and in what direction was it going to go, but we knew it had to do something.
Planet 9 has been scattered out into the distant solar system. So because it has an orbital period that's so long, it has an enormous amount of angular momentum, right? As much almost as the rest of the solar system combined. So even though as an object it is not as massive as Jupiter, it has a huge lever bar. Okay? And using that lever bar, it can effectively torque the rest of the disk of the solar system by 6 degrees over the age of the sun.
Next, always next on our list is find the planet. We think we have it narrowed down to a pretty small patch in the sky that we have to look at. Small patch in the sky still means we need many, many nights on the telescope. We're pretty convinced that by maybe the end of next winter, we will have been able to cover enough sky that we'll actually be able to find it. When we find it, we both show that this hypothesis has been correct, we learn about it, but we also see how much of the sun, how it should have tilted the sun too, and see if this is the only thing that's been tilting the sun or if other things are around doing it.
The authorities, however, attributed this water retreating to the doings of Hurricane Irma. But note that these recedings took place on September 12th, when Irma was already weakening. Speaking of Irma, for those who are not really clear, it was absolutely catastrophic. It was in fact the second most powerful hurricane ever reported, and the second most expensive storm in the region. 69 people were reported killed in the storm. The historical cold wave caused almost 100 casualties. Then after only 2 months more, the whole continent experienced a record-long drought, and it was roasted under a heat wave that brings the continent's temperature up to highs as 100 to 120 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 40 to 50 Extreme weather anomalies like Irma are experiencing an uptick in all possible shapes and sizes. If you remember, just 5 months ago, Europe fell into a deep freeze called the Beast from the East. The historical cold wave caused almost 100 casualties. Then, after only 2 months, the whole continent experienced a record-long drought. And now it is roasted under a heat wave that brings the continent's temperature up to highs of 100 and 120 degrees Fahrenheit, or around 40 to 50 degrees Celsius. Wildfires raged across Europe, from the Arctic Circle to Sweden and Athens, burning thousands of hectares of land, and in Greece, wildfire killed 200 people. The same thing is going on in California, as fire raged on and smoke even reached as far as Baltimore and Washington. The fire has burned a total area of almost 1 million acres, causing more than $600 million and killing 14 people. Wildfires and cold waves can be known easily because they can be attributed to many reasons. Yet, strange phenomena worth knowing like water receding are never reported by official news outlets. You probably know why. I mean, which politician would like the rest of the world to know about the immediate doom? You would definitely break their agenda to pieces and cause an economic and social collapse. In fact, this inbound planet has been known officially by the authorities since 1986. 1 week after its announcement, President Reagan made it part of the national security mandate, thus making it illegal for agencies, scientists, and institutions to address the system of Nibiru when in public. That is why, when it comes to sensitive topics such as this one, it is very important that you keep a lookout on your physical surroundings and connect the dots.
So the object itself likely is more massive than the Earth, probably a little bit less massive than Neptune. It sits right in between that terrestrial to giant icy planet range. Its orbit, unlike the orbits of the known planets, is not nearly circular and planar. Instead, it is exceptionally wide, 20 times bigger than the orbit of Neptune. The orbital period of the Earth is, of course, 1 year. Right? The orbital period of Jupiter, the big player in our solar system, is about 10 years. The orbital period of this putative ninth planet is 20,000 years.
Of course, you can deny this in spite of all the harbingers right in front of your eyes. The most common counter-argument that I face when tackling this issue in public is that there is no date for the event. You see, there have been many dates associated with the Nibiru cataclysm. The first one said to be in 2003, but you guys should remember the Nancy leader, the one who proposed the 2003 date, already denied it, and said she would not reveal the date because of public security reasons. So my guess here is that the government reached out to her, and she had no other choice but to follow the set-out political roadmap. When the date was postponed to the doomsday of 2012. But guys, please, that was only the end of the Mayan calendar, and it was never supposed to be associated with Planet X. It was only linked to the internet because of internet trolls, as well as people who did not keep themselves informed on the issue and panicked. After 2012, the dates of Nibiru kept being brought up and postponed like an endless loop of time, and the arguments gradually lost its validity. But I just want to make you aware of all the signs that have been given to us, both from the sky and from the ground. And you should not let the internet trolls and the uninformed people make you ignore the real signs out there. Unless you can somehow magically explain the increase in the Earth's wobble, the strange tides, and the sudden rise in extreme seismic and volcanic activities going all over the place, then I suggest you just sit back and reflect on it a bit. All of these things are connected together via the cause of the rise in gravity pushed upon us. You see, it's not a question of whether this will happen, but when it happens. We simply cannot calculate a date because there's just not enough information given to us. The elites will do whatever they can to keep us uninformed. If you remember, I once talked about how the lower of the earthquake scale and the spray mist into the sky to block out any visible signs of Planet X. this is repetition, but again. I want to emphasize that you should trust your physical surroundings and common sense instead of believing in the authorities. That's it for today, guys, but if you still don't believe it, go back to the beginning of this video and watch the Arctic people, who confirmed through many years how the Earth is tilting more and more. Go back to the middle and watch the extreme tidal movements caused by an increase in gravity. And most importantly, keep looking to the sky, because warnings are all around us. Also, hit that subscribe button because we have more news coming out soon. Until we meet again, this is X Science, and I am Ross, signing out.